Hey, this is Gigi from Kauai Community College. This is L2 practice problem 1. You are asked to use a definition of limit to find the derivative of this function here. So definition of limit is the limit definition is the derivative, which is f prime of x, is going to equal to limit as h go to 0 of f of x plus h minus f of x all divided by h. Okay, where f of x is this function here that you have right here, the polynomial function here. Actually, it's a quadratic. Okay, so let's go ahead and plug in f of x and f of x plus h and then see what happened. So the derivative of f is limit as h goes to 0 of, okay, the denominator is h. On the numerator you have 2x plus h squared minus 5 times x plus h minus 3, and that is the f of x plus h. That's this part right here. Okay, minus the second part, which is f of x. So what is f of x? F of x is the function, which is 2x squared minus 5x minus 3. Okay, so what is our job now? Our job is to do a little bit of algebra and clean that up. Okay, so clean that up. So limit as h goes to 0 and x plus h squared, when you multiply that out, that would be x squared plus 2xh plus h squared, and then times it by 2, you'll have 2x squared plus 4xh plus 2h squared minus 5x minus 5h, I said h, not x, distributing the negative, minus 3, and here distributing this subtraction problem, here you have negative 2x squared plus 5x plus 3 all over h. And again, the beauty of this is a bunch of things are going to cancel out. For example, 2x squared minus 2x squared is 0. 5x, negative 5x, positive 5x is 0. Minus 3 plus 3, that's going to zero out. So you'll have things that have, all things that have an h in it. 4xh, 2h squared minus 5x, and then you are going to divide by h. So everything divided by h, then you will have the derivative is limit as h goes to 0. You no longer have h on the denominator because you're going to take everything here, all the green circle terms, divided by h. So you will have 4x plus 2h and 5h minus 5h divided by h is minus 5. Okay, now when h is approaching 0, this value right here is going to be approaching 0. So adding a really small number to for x plus minus 5, that is going to be approaching 4x minus 5. And we say then that the derivative of x is of f of x, the derivative of f of x is 4x minus 5 for any value x when your function is this right here. That's the derivative. Okay, now The question then asks you to find the equation of the tangent line. So let's go ahead and find the equation of the tangent line. How will we do that? Again, let's remind ourselves what the informations are that was given to us. The function f of x is 2x squared minus 5x minus 3. From previous screen, we see that we calculate that the derivative is 4x minus 5, and the question is asking what is the derivative, the equation of the tangent line at x is equal to 1. Well, if x is equal to 1, the y value or the function value is f of 1. And when you plug in 1, you will have 2 times 1, which is 2, minus 5 times 1, which is 5. 2 minus 5 minus 3, and that's going to give you negative 6. So then the point on the graph is 1, negative 6. That's the point on the graph. Okay, and we're focusing on the tangent line at that point, where prime of x is the derivative, and the derivative is the slope of the tangent line. And the slope of the tangent line at x equal to 1 is f prime of 1, which is 4 times 1 minus 5. Okay, so our slope here is negative 1. So you have these information, slope of negative 1, and the point that we are talking about is 1, negative 6. And so in order to find the equation of the line, we would use y equals mx plus b. Y equals mx plus b. Y is negative 6. The slope m is negative 5. X is 1. And b is an unknown. Solving for b, b would be negative 5. Therefore, we would say the equation of the tangent line to the graph f of x at x equal to 1 is y equals negative x plus 5. That's the equation of the tangent line. Okay. Now, next, the question is asking you to graph it and illustrate that on a graph. Okay, so we're going to have to probably do a little bit of a review. So you just saw the graph there. My question then is, how did Desmo get that graph, right? Now, I would love it if you can just sketch the graph without using Desmo. Desmo is great to take a look and to verify quickly. So the scenario is, just so that we can check our understanding, the scenario is we have a function f of x, which is this here, and f of x is 2x squared minus 5x minus 3, which is a parabola. Okay, and here is the tangent line at the point 1, 6. The point 1, 6 is right here. That's the point 1, 6. 1, negative 6. That's what we found, right? When x is 1, y is negative 6. Okay, now at that point, we look for the equation of the tangent line, where the slope m is the derivative of the function f of x, and then evaluate it at 1. Okay, and we found that the equation of this line right here is negative x minus 5. All right, now you might be asking, well, what if you are not supposed to be using decimals? What if you're not supposed to be using decimal to graph? How do you graph that? Okay, so that is college algebra. That's back into college algebra. you have the function y equals 2x squared minus 5x minus 3. In order to graph by transformation, I better just go ahead and complete the square so I can tell what the transformations are, right? So completing the square is go ahead and transform it into vertex form. In order to do that, I'm going to go ahead and add 3 to both sides and divide it by 2. So when I add 3 and divide it by 2, the 2 is gone, so I'll have x squared minus 5 over 2x, and the plus 3 is on the other side. Okay, we know that in order for this, so the point is for it to look like this, right? So you will have a vertex form. So you will have x minus what? If I was to make this a complete square, this right here is going to be half of 5 over 2. And half of 5 over 2 is 5 over 4. In order to make that into a complete square, I needed that thing right here, square, which is 25 over 16. I can't just go ahead and add 25 over 16 on the right-hand side. I got to add 25 over 16 on the left-hand side as well. Now, all of this becomes a perfect square. Okay, and that's what that line is. So now what I can do is to go ahead and put things back on the left-hand side. The plus 25 over 16, I can go ahead and subtract that, minus 25 over 16. Multiply everything by 2. So y plus 3 is equal to 2 times x minus 5 over 4 squared minus 25 over 8. And then minus 3 to both sides. Y equals 2 times x minus 5 over 4 squared minus 49 over 8. Okay, so what does that tell me? This is being shifted to the right, 5 over 4, and down 49 over 8. Okay, which means my vertex is at 5 over 4, which is 1 1/4, and negative 49 over 8, which is 6 1/8. That is my vertex down here. Okay, so that's my vertex down here, and it makes a U, so there we go. Okay, now in order to graph this, we have to say, well, transformation, the stretch factor is 2. So from here, we would go over 1 up 2, and that's where it's at. Over 2 up 8, and that's how you would sketch the graph. Okay, a little bit of review. This is called completing the square. To get it into vertex form. Vertex form. To graph by transformation. And if you need to review on that, let me know. I'll go ahead and send you some algebra video. But you can also just Google it, right? So, but anyways, the main point is we have a function right here. That's a parabola. Well, looking at this point right here, 1, negative 6. And the derivative of this function is the slope of the tangent line, which we calculated to be negative 1. And then y equals mx plus b. We found the equation being negative x minus 5. Okay, that is number 1 for practice L2.